This wedding was never about love. It was about gathering every enemy in one place. So no one would question the blood. The Villa Fiorentini stands flawless tonight. Chandeliers cast light across champagne towers and silk gowns. Every smile means nothing. Every handshake hides steel. Dino Bianchi moves through the room like a man who believes control equals survival. He does not know the ceremony was designed. The vows are not promises. They are coordinates. Somewhere in the kitchen, a woman no one remembers hiring overhears words that were never meant for ears like hers. Guard shifts. Exit routes. Timing. She knows what this gathering truly is. Everyone here came to witness unity. Half of them came to witness blood. And the ones who planned it are already standing at the altar. This is where the story gets better. If you like stories that take their time and let consequences unfold, you should subscribe and stay. There's a lot more ahead, and none of it is accidental. The estate sprawls across the hills outside the city, like a monument to wealth that forgot how to feel. Marble columns rise from manicured gardens. Ivy climbs stone walls in rehearsed elegance. Inside, the ballroom glows gold beneath crystal chandeliers that hang like frozen stars. It is beautiful. It is controlled. It is wrong. Dino Bianchi knows this. He has always known this. But control, he learned long ago, is not about comfort. It is about containment. And tonight, he has contained chaos itself. He stands near the grand staircase, champagne flute in hand, dark suit tailored to precision. Ink climbs the side of his neck, where his collar does not quite cover it. A reminder of where he came from. A warning of what he became.
His posture is relaxed.
His eyes are not. He watches the room the way a man watches a fire he thinks he is tamed. To his left, Don Saverio Fiorentini holds court near the bar. Silver hair slicked back. Rings on every finger. His laugh is too loud, too frequent, too deliberate. He grips the shoulder of a younger capo and squeezes just enough to remind him who still holds the blade. The old man is dangerous. Dino has always known that too. But dangerous men can be negotiated with. They can be married into. They can be controlled. That is what tonight is for. To his right, Fedra Fiorentini glides between guests in her white lace gown. The veil trails behind her like silk smoke. Her hands are folded. Her smile is soft. She looks like a bride from a magazine. She does not look like a woman in love. But this is not that kind of wedding. Everyone here knows it. The Bianchi family controls the ports. The cargo that moves through the city flows through Dino's hands first. The Fiorentini family controls the roads. The routes that carry that cargo belong to Don Saverio. For 3 years, blood has been the only thing exchanged between them. Bodies in alleyways. Fires in warehouses. Silence bought with bullets.
Until now.
Tonight, the war ends. Not with surrender. With ceremony. Dino finishes his champagne and sets the glass on a passing tray. He does not drink much anymore. Clarity requires sobriety. And power requires clarity. He has spent 6 months engineering this moment. The marriage was his idea. A union between rival bloodlines. Shared control. Shared profit. An end to the bleeding. Fedra was the offering. Dino was the answer. And every boss, every lieutenant, every rival who wanted him dead now sits beneath the same roof, bound by tradition and the performance of peace. It is brilliant. It is airtight. It is exactly what Don Saverio wanted. But Dino does not see that yet. He believes the cage was his design. He does not yet understand that some cages are built around the architect. A violin begins to play near the altar. Guests turn toward the sound. The ceremony is beginning. Dino adjusts his cuffs and moves through the crowd. Men nod as he passes. Women smile. No one speaks too loudly. No one touches him without permission. This is respect. Or the shape it takes when fear learns manners. He reaches the altar and stops. White roses frame the archway. Candles flicker in neat rows. The officiant stands waiting, leather book open in his hands. Fedra approaches from the other side of the room. Her father walks beside her. Don Saverio's hand rests on her arm. His expression is proud, gentle, even. It is a performance, but it is a good one. Fedra takes her place across from Dino. Their eyes meet. Hers are calm, empty, rehearsed. His are searching. She does not flinch. The officiant clears his throat and begins to speak. Dino hears the words but does not absorb them. His mind is elsewhere. Calculating.
Scanning.
He has guards positioned near every exit. Loyalists scattered throughout the room. Weapons hidden but accessible. He has planned for betrayal. He has planned for everything, except the thing that is already in motion. Near the back of the ballroom, close to the service entrance that leads to the kitchen, a young woman in a black uniform dress refills a crystal water pitcher with steady hands. Her name is Rosalia Lombardi. No one here knows that. No one here has looked at her long enough to ask. She is 24. She has worked a dozen jobs like this. Weddings. Galas. Fundraisers for people who do not notice her. She prefers it that way. Invisibility is safer than relevance. But tonight, invisibility has become something else. A weapon she did not ask to carry. Rosalia was hired 6 hours ago. Last-minute staffing. The agency did not ask questions. The pay was too good to refuse. She arrived early. She followed instructions. She stayed quiet. She has done everything right. But she has also listened. And what she has heard does not match what she sees. In the kitchen, while refilling trays, she overheard 2 men in dark suits standing near the walk-in cooler. Their voices were low. Not angry. Not passionate. Clinical. One of them said the word ceremony. The other said timing. A third voice, older, asked about the East Corridor. Someone responded. Covered. He'll have no line. Rosalia did not understand it then. She set down the tray and kept working. But the words stayed with her. And then, 20 minutes later, she saw Fedra Fiorentini standing near the service hallway with her father. Don Severio's hand was on her shoulder. His mouth was close to her ear. Fedra nodded. Just once. No hesitation. No confusion. She knew. Rosalia felt it then. The cold certainty that crawls up the spine when the brain understands something the heart does not want to believe. This wedding is not a celebration. It is an execution. She sets the water pitcher down on a side table now and glances toward the altar. Dino Bianchi stands beneath the roses, calm and composed. His hands are clasped in front of him. His expression is unreadable. He looks like a man in control. He looks like a man who has no idea he is standing at the center of his own funeral. Rosalia's pulse quickens. She does not know him. She has no loyalty to him. She came here for money, for work, for nothing more. But she knows what silence costs. She has lived in this city long enough to recognize the shape of violence before it arrives. And she knows, with brutal clarity, that if she does nothing, the man at the altar will die. Not later. Not eventually.
Soon.
The officiant's voice rises. Guests shift in their seats. Fedra's hands are folded. Her veil shimmers in the candlelight. Don Severio stands near the side of the altar, hands behind his back, eyes watching. Waiting. Rosalia's breath catches. She does not have proof. She does not have time. She only has the truth she overheard and the decision she has not yet made. She steps forward. Not toward the exit. Not toward safety. Toward the altar. Because silence, she has learned, is not neutrality. It is permission. And she has already seen too much to pretend she does not know what comes next. The room does not notice her at first. She is just another staff member. Another shadow in black. But she keeps walking. Past the tables.
Past the guests.
Past the men in suits who stand too still to be waiters. Her heart is pounding. Her hands are trembling. But her feet do not stop. Dino sees her before anyone else does. His eyes shift. His brow furrows slightly. The officiant pauses mid-sentence. Fedra turns. And Rosalia Lombardi, the girl no one remembers hiring, the invisible woman who is never supposed to matter, steps directly in front of Dino Bianchi and does the only thing she can think of to break the sequence. She kisses him. The The wedding was never about love. But the kiss? The kiss was about survival. And it changed everything. The kiss lasts 3 seconds. It feels like 3 years. Rosalia's lips press against Dino's mouth with no softness, no hesitation. This is not passion. This is interruption. Her hand grips his shoulder to steady herself, not to pull him closer. His champagne flute slips from his fingers. Glass shatters against marble. The sound cuts through the music like a gunshot. The room freezes. Every head turns. Phaedra's mouth falls open. Her veil trembles. Her hands rise halfway, as if to shield herself from what she is seeing, but they stop midair, suspended in disbelief. Don Severio's face hardens. His jaw tightens. His hand moves toward his jacket but stops when he realizes too many eyes are watching. The officiant closes his book. Someone gasps. Rosalia pulls back, her breath ragged, her face flushed. She does not look at the crowd. She looks only at Dino. His eyes are wide.
Confused.
Furious. But he is alive. And that was the point. The sequence is broken. Whatever was supposed to happen next cannot happen now. Because every person in this room is staring at her. Dino's voice is low. Controlled.
Deadly.
Who are you? Rosalia swallows.
Her throat is dry.
Her pulse hammers in her ears. She opens her mouth to answer. And that is when the first gunshot rings out. Chaos does not arrive slowly. It detonates. The shot comes from somewhere near the east corridor. A sharp crack that silences the violins and shatters the illusion of civility in a single breath. Screams erupt. Guests drop to the floor. Tables overturn. Champagne glasses explode against stone. Dino grabs Rosalia by the wrist and pulls her down behind the altar as another shot splits the air above their heads. "Stay low," he growls. She nods, her body pressed against cold marble, her mind racing. This was supposed to happen during the vows. Not now. Not yet. But she disrupted it. She broke the timing. And now the plan is collapsing in real time. More gunfire. Closer this time. Dino's hand moves to his waistband. He pulls a compact pistol from beneath his jacket. His movements are fast. Practiced. He does not panic. He simply recalibrates. "East exit," he says to someone behind him. One of his men appears, crouched low, blood streaking his sleeve.
Blocked.
They repositioned. Dino curses under his breath. Rosalia's chest tightens. They repositioned. She heard those words in the kitchen. Guard shifts. Exit routes. Timing. This was not random violence. This was choreography. And she just forced them to improvise. Dino glances at her, his eyes sharp and calculating. "You knew." "It is not a question." Rosalia nods. "I heard them. In the kitchen. They were talking about exits. About the ceremony. About you." His jaw clenches. "Who?" "I don't know their names. But one of them was older. Gray suit. He said the east corridor would be covered. That you'd have no line." Dino's expression darkens. He knows exactly who she is describing. He rises slightly, scanning the room. Bodies are scattered across the floor. Some of his men are returning fire. Others are dragging guests toward cover. Phaedra is gone. So is Don Severio. Dino holsters his weapon and grabs Rosalia by the arm. "You're coming with me."
What?
"No, You just became the only person in this room I can trust." He pulls her to her feet and moves toward a side door hidden behind a velvet curtain. His grip is firm but not cruel. He does not ask permission. He does not explain. Survival does not wait for consensus. They slip through the door into a narrow service hallway. The sounds of gunfire fade slightly behind them. The air smells like wine and fear. Rosalia's legs shake as she runs. She has never been in a situation like this. She has never held a gun. She has never saved anyone. But she has also never been seen. And now, she cannot unsee herself. Dino stops at a stairwell and listens. Footsteps echo below. He motions for her to stay silent. She presses her back against the wall, her breath shallow. He leans close, his voice barely a whisper. What's your name? Rosalia. Rosalia what? Lombardi. He nods once, as if filing the information somewhere permanent. You just saved my life, Rosalia Lombardi. She meets his eyes. They're dark. Unreadable. But not unkind. I didn't mean to. Doesn't matter. You did. He checks the stairwell again, then motions for her to follow. They descend in silence. At the bottom, he pushes open a steel door that leads into an underground garage. Rows of expensive cars gleam under fluorescent lights. Dino moves toward a black sedan parked near the far wall. He opens the passenger door and nods at her. Get in. Rosalia hesitates. I don't even know you. You know enough. You know someone tried to kill me at my own wedding. You know my bride's family was in on it. And you know that if you go back up there, you're dead. She swallows. He is right. She climbs into the car. Dino slides into the driver's seat and starts the engine. The sound is clean, efficient, final. As they pull out of the garage and into the night, Rosalia glances back at the villa. Smoke rises from one of the upper windows. Sirens wail in the distance. She does not know what happens next, but she knows, with absolute certainty, that the girl she was 6 hours ago no longer exists. Invisibility kept her safe. Visibility just made her a target. And the man sitting beside her, the one with ink on his neck and blood on his hands, is the only reason she is still breathing. The car moves through the city like a shadow learning to run. Dino does not speak for the first 10 minutes. His hands grip the steering wheel with controlled precision. His eyes flick between mirrors. He is not fleeing. He is navigating. Rosalia watches the streets blur past. Neon signs. Empty cafes. A world that does not know what just happened. She should feel relief. She feels nothing but static. Finally, Dino breaks the silence. You need to understand something.
His voice is calm. Too calm.
Rosalia turns toward him. That wedding, he continues, was supposed to end a war. 3 years of bodies. 3 years of territory carved up like meat. The Bianchi family controls the ports. The Fiorentini family controls distribution. We needed each other, but we couldn't stop killing each other. He takes a sharp left turn. The tires hum against wet pavement. So I proposed a solution. Marriage. Fedra Fiorentini was Don Severio's youngest daughter. Beautiful. Educated. Obedient. The perfect symbol. Rosalia's stomach tightens. You didn't love her.
No.
Did she love you? Dino glances at her briefly. His expression is unreadable. I don't know. I never ask. The honesty stings more than a lie would have. He continues. Marriage in our world isn't about affection. It's about alliances. Fedra became my wife to merge 2 empires. Shared profit. Shared control. Shared power over a city that bleeds money every single day. And you believed that would work? I believed it was the only option that didn't end with one of us dead. He pauses. I was wrong. Rosalia leans back against the seat. Her mind is racing. You didn't see it coming.
No.
I saw every angle except the right one. Which was? Dino's jaw tightens. That Don Severio never wanted peace. He wanted positioning. He pulls the car into an underground parking structure beneath an unmarked building. The fluorescent lights flicker as the engine dies. Dino steps out. Rosalia follows. They walk through a steel door into a narrow hallway that smells like concrete and old cigarettes. At the end, Dino unlocks another door and motions her inside. The room is sparse. A table, 2 chairs, a single window with bars across it. Safe house. Dino closes the door and locks it behind them. Rosalia stands near the table, arms crossed, trying to steady her breathing. Why did he want you dead? She asks. Dino leans against the wall, arms folded. Because I was the only thing standing between him and total control. But the marriage was a distraction. Don Severio convinced me that unity was the goal. But what he really wanted was consolidation. If I married Fedra, our families would merge on paper. But in practice, his influence would grow. His men would infiltrate my operations. His voice would carry weight in my decisions. Rosalia frowns. Then why kill you at the wedding? Why not just let the marriage work and take over slowly? Dino's expression darkens. Because I'm not slow. I adapt. I would have seen the infiltration eventually. I would have pushed back. And a war inside a marriage is messier than a bullet during vows. He crosses the room and sits in one of the chairs. Killing me publicly during the ceremony sends a message. It shows strength. It tells every other family in the city that the Fiorentinis don't negotiate. They dominate. Rosalia sits across from him. And Fedra was part of it. The words land heavy. Rosalia's chest tightens. She knew. She had to. You said you overheard her father. You saw them together. She wasn't just a pawn. She was a participant. Rosalia thinks back to the altar. Fedra's calm expression. Her rehearsed movements. The way she nodded when her father whispered to her. No hesitation. No surprise. She knew. How do you marry someone you plan to kill? Rosalia whispers. Dino's eyes meet hers. The same way you smile at someone you plan to betray. You separate the action from the person. You tell yourself it's strategy. You convince yourself that loyalty to blood matters more than loyalty to vows. That's not love.
No.
It's survival. Rosalia shakes her head. That's not survival. That's cruelty dressed up as logic. Dino doesn't argue. He leans back in his chair and exhales slowly. I thought I was being smart. I thought marrying into the enemy's family would make me untouchable. I thought shared power meant shared interest. But power doesn't share, Rosalia says quietly. Dino looks at her.
No.
It doesn't. The silence between them is heavy. Outside, a siren wails in the distance. Rosalia's hands tremble slightly. She presses them flat against the table. What happens now? Dino stands and walks to the window. He stares out through the bars at the dark city beyond. Now, Don Severio knows I'm alive. He knows his plan failed. And he knows you're the reason why. Rosalia's breath catches. So he'll come for me. Yes. And you. Dino turns to face her. He'll come for me too. But I've been hunted before. And me. He studies her for a long moment. You're invisible, Rosalia. That's your advantage. No one remembers your face. No one knows your name. You can disappear. Can I? The question hangs in the air. Dino crosses the room and crouches in front of her, his eyes level with hers. You saved my life. I won't let you die for it. You don't owe me anything.
Yes.
I do. His voice is steady.
Certain.
Rosalia searches his face. She sees no deception. No performance. Just a man who has lived long enough in a world built on lies to recognize the weight of a single truth. I didn't want this, she whispers. I know. I just wanted to work.
To survive.
I know. And now. Dino stands. Now you're part of something you didn't choose. And the only way out is through. Rosalia closes her eyes. She thinks about the girl she was this morning. The one who refilled water pitchers and stayed quiet and never questioned the world around her. That girl is gone. And the one sitting in this room, hunted by men she has never met, protected by a man she just kissed in front of a collapsing empire. She doesn't know who that girl is yet. But she knows one thing. Invisibility was safety. Visibility is war. And the man standing in front of her just made her both his greatest liability and his only ally. The question is no longer whether she will survive. It is whether survival is worth what it will cost her to keep it. The safe house has no clock. Time moves differently here. Slower. Heavier. Rosalia sits at the table, staring at her hands. They are still shaking. She does not know if it is adrenaline or fear or the delayed realization that she just destroyed her entire life in 3 seconds. Dino stands near the window, phone pressed to his ear. His voice is low, controlled. He is speaking in clipped sentences to someone on the other end. Names she does not recognize. Locations she has never heard of. He is rebuilding. She is unraveling. When he finally hangs up, he turns to her. We have 24 hours before they find this place. Rosalia looks up. How do you know? Because I know how they think. They'll check my properties first. Then my associates. Then the places I've used before. This building isn't registered to me, but it's not invisible either. He sits across from her. I need you to tell me everything you heard. Every word. Every detail. Rosalia swallows. She has been replaying the moments in her head since they left the villa, trying to piece together fragments that did not make sense at the time, but now form a map she wishes she had never seen. It was in the kitchen, she begins. Around 4 o'clock. I was refilling champagne trays near the service hallway. Dino nods. 2 men were standing near the cooler.
Dark suits.
One of them had a scar above his eyebrow. The other was younger, clean-shaven. Did they see you?
No.
I was behind a prep counter. They weren't paying attention. What did they say? Rosalia closes her eyes and forces herself back into that moment. The hum of the refrigerator. The clatter of dishes. The smell of garlic and rosemary. The younger one asked about timing. He said, when does it happen? The other one said, during the vows. Not before. Not after. Dino's jaw tightens. Go on. Then someone else joined them. Older voice. I didn't see his face. He asked if the east corridor was clear. The younger one said, yes. Security's been moved. He'll have no line. Dino leans forward. Moved where? I don't know. They didn't say. He curses under his breath. Rosalia continues. The older man said something else. He said, make sure she's far enough away when it happens. I didn't know who he meant at the time. Fedra. Rosalia nods slowly. I think so. Because later, I saw her. Dino's eyes sharpen. When? Maybe 40 minutes before the ceremony. I was carrying linens down the hallway near the bridal suite. The door was open. Just a crack. Her voice drops. She was inside. With her father. Rosalia can still see it. The way Don Severio stood near the window, hands clasped behind his back. The way Fedra sat on the edge of the vanity, her veil already pinned in place, her hands folded in her lap. She looked like a painting.
Still. Perfect.
Empty. Her father's voice was low. Not angry. Not emotional. Instructional. You understand what happens next. It was not a question. Fedra nodded. You will stand beside him. You will smile. You will say the words. And when the officiant asks if you take him as your husband, you will say yes. Another nod. And then, Fedra's voice was soft.
Steady.
Then I stepped back. Don Severio turned to face her.
Exactly.
You step back.
You do not react.
You do not scream. You let it happen. Silence. Then Fedra spoke again. Will it be fast? Her father's expression did not change. Yes. Will he suffer? Does it matter? Fedra looked down at her hands.
No.
Don Severio crossed the room and placed a hand on her shoulder. You are doing what is necessary. What is right for this family. Your brother would have done the same. My brother is dead. And Dino Bianchi is the reason why. Fedra's breath hitched. Just once. Then she composed herself. I understand. Good. He kissed the top of her head. You are my daughter. And you will make me proud. Rosalia had stepped back from the door before either of them noticed her. Her heart was pounding. Her hands were numb. She did not know what she had just witnessed. But she knew it was not love. It was arithmetic. Dino is silent for a long time after she finishes. His expression is unreadable. His hands are folded on the table. He does not move. Finally he speaks. Her brother. Rosalia nods. He mentioned him. Said you were the reason he died. Dino exhales slowly. Marco Fiorentini. He was Don Severio's eldest son. 3 years ago, he tried to hijack one of my shipments. Thought he could strong-arm me into paying tribute. What happened? He underestimated how many men I had on the inside. The ambush failed. Marco didn't make it out. Rosalia's chest tightens. So this was revenge. Revenge dressed up as strategy. Don Severio wanted me dead. But he also wanted my empire. The wedding gave him both. And Fedra, Dino's voice is flat, was willing to stand at the altar and watch me die because her father told her to. Rosalia looks away. She thinks about the girl in the bridal suite, the way she sat so still, the way her voice never wavered. She was not a victim. She was a soldier. I didn't know what to do, Rosalia whispers. Dino looks at her. You could have walked away. I thought about it, but you didn't.
No.
Why? Rosalia meets his eyes. Because doing nothing is still a choice. And I didn't want to choose that. The words hang between them. Dino leans back in his chair. You had no proof. No allies. No one would have believed you. I know. You could have died. I know. And you did it anyway. Rosalia's throat tightens. I couldn't let him kill you. Not when I knew. Not when I could stop it. Dino studies her for a long moment. Then he stands and walks to the window again. You're not like the people I know, Rosalia Lombardi. Is that good or bad? He does not answer. Outside, the city hums with distant noise.
Cars.
Voices. Life continuing as if the world did not just fracture. Rosalia stares at the table. She saved a man she did not know. She destroyed a plan she was never meant to hear. And now she is sitting in a locked room with a stranger who holds her life in his hands. The question is no longer what she heard. It is what she is willing to become because of it. Silence, she has learned, is not neutral. It is complicity. And the moment she chose to speak, she stopped being invisible. Now she has to learn how to survive being seen. The memory plays on a loop. Rosalia closes her eyes in the safe house, and she is back at the villa. Back in the moment where everything changed. Dino is still at the window, silent, waiting.
She needs to explain.
Not what she heard, what she did. I didn't plan it, she says quietly. Dino turns. The kiss? She nods. I was standing near the kitchen door, watching. The officiant had just opened his book. Fedra was smiling. You were calm. Everything looked perfect. Her voice trembles. And that's when I knew. It was about to happen. The ballroom had felt like a held breath. Rosalia stood frozen near the service entrance, her pulse hammering in her ears. She watched Dino's face. Watched the way his hands rested at his sides. Confident. Unaware. Fedra stood across from him in her white lace gown, veil shimmering under chandelier light. Her father was 3 feet behind her, hands clasped, expression serene. The officiant began to speak. We are gathered here today to witness the union of 2 families. Rosalia's chest tightened. She scanned the room. The guests were seated. Attentive. Respectful. But something was wrong. The security detail near the east corridor had shifted. 2 men who had been standing near the archway were gone, replaced by faces she did not recognize. Don Severio's men. Her breath caught. The east corridor was supposed to be covered. Dino would have no line. She looked back at the altar. The officiant continued. Marriage is a bond forged not only in love, but in trust, in loyalty, in shared purpose. Fedra's hands were folded. Her expression was serene. She was waiting. Rosalia's mind raced. She had no weapon, no authority, no proof. If she shouted, no one would believe her. If she ran, Dino would die. And if she did nothing, she would carry the weight of that silence for the rest of her life. The officiant turned to Dino. Dino Bianchi, do you take Fedra Fiorentini to be your lawfully wedded wife? Dino's voice was steady. I do. The officiant turned to Fedra. And do you, Fedra Fiorentini? Rosalia moved. She did not think. She did not plan. She simply walked. Past the tables. Past the guests. Past the men in suits who were too focused on the altar to notice a girl in a black uniform. Her legs carried her forward even as her mind screamed at her to stop. The officiant paused mid-sentence. Dino's eyes shifted. Fedra's smile faltered. Rosalia reached the altar. And before anyone could speak, before anyone could stop her, she stepped directly in front of Dino Bianchi and kissed him. The room exploded. Not with sound. With silence. Every breath stopped. Every movement froze. Rosalia's lips pressed against his for 3 seconds that felt like eternity. She did not close her eyes. She did not soften. This was not romance. This was disruption. When she pulled back, Dino's face was a mask of shock and fury. His champagne glass slipped from his hand. Glass shattered. The sound broke the spell. Fedra gasped. Her hands flew to her mouth. Don Severio's expression darkened. And somewhere near the east corridor, a man reached for his weapon too early. The gunshot cracked through the air like thunder. Chaos did not wait for permission. Screams erupted. Tables overturned. Guests dropped to the floor. Dino grabbed Rosalia and pulled her down behind the altar as another shot split the air above their heads. "What the hell did you just do?" he hissed. Rosalia's voice was breathless. "I broke the sequence." He stared at her. "What?" "The vows." They were waiting for the vows.
I heard them say it.
During the vows. Not before. Not after. Understanding flashed across his face. He pulled a gun from his waistband and rose slightly, scanning the room. More gunfire. His men were returning fire now. The choreography had collapsed into improvisation. "East corridor," Rosalia said quickly. "They moved your security. That's where the shot was supposed to come from." Dino's jaw clenched. He motioned to one of his men crouched nearby. "East corridor."
Now.
The man nodded and disappeared into the chaos. Dino turned back to Rosalia. "You kissed me. I didn't know what else to do. You could have shouted. You could have pulled a fire alarm. Would you have believed me?" He paused.
No. Exactly.
"But a kiss? That stops everything. That makes everyone look." Dino's expression shifted. The anger faded. Something else took its place. Realization. "You were trying to save me romantically."
No.
"You were trying to break their timing." "Yes." He stared at her for a long moment. Then he did something she did not expect. He laughed. Not loud. Not hysterical. Just a short, sharp exhale of disbelief. "You're either the smartest person I've ever met or the most reckless. Can't I be both?" Another shot rang out. Dino grabbed her wrist. "We're leaving."
Now.
Back in the safe house, Rosalia opens her eyes. Dino is still watching her. "That kiss made you visible," he says quietly. "I know. Every person in that room saw your face. Don Severio. Fedra. Every lieutenant. Every soldier. I know. You can't take it back. I don't want to." The words surprise even her. But they are true. Dino crosses the room and sits across from her again. "Why?" Rosalia meets his gaze. "Because for the first time in my life, I did something that mattered. I wasn't invisible. I wasn't irrelevant. I was seen. And I chose what that moment would mean." Dino's expression softens. "You saved my life with a kiss. I saved your life with timing."
He leans back.
Precision. Exactly. Silence settles between them. Outside, the city continues its indifferent hum. Dino exhales slowly. "You know they'll come for you." "Yes." "You know I can't protect you forever." "I'm not asking you to." "Then what are you asking?" Rosalia's voice is steady. "I'm asking you to teach me how to survive what I just became." Dino studies her. Then he nods. "All right. All right. You saved me. Now I'll make sure you know how to save yourself." Rosalia's chest tightens. She does not know if it is fear or relief or something closer to hope. But she knows one thing. The kiss was not the end. It was the beginning. And the girl who walked into that villa 6 hours ago, invisible and unnoticed, is gone. In her place is someone new. Someone marked. Someone dangerous. Someone who just learned that survival is not about staying hidden. It is about choosing the exact moment to be seen. They move 3 times in 12 hours. The first safe house is an apartment above a butcher shop in the old quarter. Dino keeps the lights off. They sit in darkness, listening to footsteps on the street below. Every sound is a threat. Every silence is worse. Rosalia does not sleep. Neither does Dino. At dawn, he makes a phone call. 2 words. A street name. They leave through the back. The second location is a storage unit on the industrial edge of the city. Concrete walls. No windows. A single bulb hanging from the ceiling. Dino brings food.
Bread. Cheese.
Bottled water. Rosalia eats without tasting. He watches her carefully. You're holding up better than I expected. She looks at him. What did you expect? Panic.
Tears.
Regret. I don't have time for any of those. He almost smiles.
No.
You don't. Hours pass. Dino's phone buzzes. He reads the message. His jaw tightens. We're moving again. Why? Because they're checking surveillance footage from the villa. By tonight, they'll have your face. By tomorrow, every street camera in the city will be looking for you. Rosalia's stomach drops. I didn't think about cameras. No one ever does. He stands and extends a hand. She takes it. The third location is underground. Literally. Dino leads her through a maintenance tunnel beneath an abandoned subway line. The air smells like rust and old rain. Their footsteps echo against cracked tile. They emerge in a basement storage room beneath a laundromat. Dino unlocks a steel door and ushers her inside. The room is small. A cot in the corner. A sink. A single chair. This is it, Rosalia asks. For now. How long is now? Until I figure out how to keep you alive. He says it without drama. Just fact. Rosalia sits on the cot. Her body aches. Her mind is racing. Dino leans against the wall, arms crossed. You need to understand something. The people who want me dead now want you dead too. Not because of what you did. Because of what you saw. I didn't see anything. You saw Fedra. You saw Don Severio. You saw the plan fail. That makes you a witness. And witnesses don't survive long in this world. Rosalia swallows. So what do I do? You trust me. The words land heavy. Rosalia looks up at him. I don't know you. I know. I don't know if you're telling me the truth. I know that too. Then why should I trust you? Dino's expression does not change. Because you already did. The moment you kissed me, you chose a side. You chose mine, whether you meant to or not. Rosalia's chest tightens. He is right. She stepped into his world. She disrupted his enemies. She saved his life. And now she is bound to him by consequence. What if I leave? She asks quietly. Then you'll be dead by morning. You don't know that.
Yes.
I do. His voice is calm. Not threatening. Just certain. Don Severio has resources. Cameras. Informants. Street-level networks that move faster than police. If you walk out of this room without my protection, you'll be found within hours. Rosalia's hands tremble. So, I'm a prisoner.
No.
You're protected. What's the difference? Dino steps closer. A prisoner has no choice. You do. You can leave any time you want. I won't stop you. But I also won't lie to you about what happens next. Rosalia stares at him. She wants to believe he is manipulating her. That this is control dressed up as care. But his eyes are steady. Honest. He is not lying. And that is somehow worse. Because it means the danger is real. And the only safe place is here. With him. Hours pass. Dino brings a laptop. He opens files. Shows her photographs. These are Don Severio's men. The ones who were at the wedding. The ones who will be looking for you. Rosalia studies the faces. Hard eyes. Cold expressions. Men who do not hesitate. Why are you showing me this? Because trust without knowledge is just obedience. I need you to understand what we're up against. He clicks to another file. Security footage. Grainy. Black and white. The villa. The ballroom. Rosalia sees herself walking toward the altar. Sees the kiss. Sees the chaos that followed. Her breath catches. They have this? Not yet. But they will. I pulled it before the servers were locked down. But there are other cameras. Other angles. He closes the laptop. By tomorrow, your face will be everywhere. Street cameras. Facial recognition. Every corner store. Every subway platform. Rosalia's voice is barely a whisper. I can't go home.
No.
I can't see my family.
No.
I can't go back to my life. Dino's expression softens.
No.
You can't. The weight of it crashes down on her. She's not just hiding.
She is erased.
Everything she was before the villa no longer exists. Her apartment.
Her job.
Her routine.
Gone.
All of it. Because she chose to be seen. Tears sting her eyes, but she does not let them fall. Dino crouches in front of her. I'm sorry. His voice is quiet. Genuine. You didn't ask for this. You didn't deserve this. But you're in it now. And the only way forward is together. Rosalia meets his gaze. Why are you helping me? Because you saved my life. That's not enough. He pauses. Then, because you're the only person in that room who told the truth. And in my world, that's rarer than you think. Rosalia's throat tightens. What if I can't do this? Then I'll teach you. What if I'm not strong enough? You kissed a mafia boss in front of 200 armed men. You're stronger than you think. The words settle between them. Rosalia exhales slowly. I'm scared. Good. Fear keeps you alive. What about trust? Dino's eyes hold hers. Trust keeps you human. He stands and walks to the door. Get some rest. We move again at midnight. Where? Somewhere they won't think to look. He pauses at the threshold. Rosalia. She looks up. Thank you. For what you did. She nods. He leaves. The door closes. And Rosalia is alone in a basement room beneath a city that is hunting her. She does not know if Dino is her protector or her captor. She does not know if trust is wisdom or weakness. But she knows one thing. The moment she chose to act, she stopped being safe. And the only way to survive what comes next is to trust the man whose life she saved. Even if trust itself has become the most dangerous thing she owns. They spend 4 days in a fisherman's cottage on the coast. The place smells like salt and old wood. The windows face the sea. Dino says it belongs to a man who owed him a favor. He does not say what kind. Rosalia does not ask. The first night, they sleep in separate rooms. Dino takes the couch. She takes the bedroom. Neither of them actually sleeps. The second night, she finds him sitting on the porch at 3 in the morning, staring at the water. She sits beside him, without speaking. He does not tell her to leave. They watch the waves in silence. And something shifts. On the third day, Dino teaches her how to disappear. You walk differently when you're scared, he says. Shoulders tight, eyes down. It makes you memorable. They are standing in the small kitchen. Morning light filters through salt-streaked glass. Rosalia frowns. I thought invisibility was good. It is. But there's a difference between being unnoticed and being nervous. One is intentional. The other is a signal. He demonstrates. Relaxed posture. Steady gait. Eyes forward but not focused. You blend by moving like you belong. Not by hiding. Rosalia tries to mimic him. He watches. Adjusts her shoulders. Steps back. Better. But you're still thinking too much. How do I stop thinking? You don't. You just think about something else. Like what? Like where you're going. Not where you've been. She tries again. This time he nods. Good. The word lands softer than she expects. She meets his eyes. He looks away first. That afternoon they talk. Not about the wedding. Not about Don Severio. About everything else. Rosalia tells him about her childhood. A small apartment in the North Quarter. A mother who worked 2 jobs. A father who left when she was 7. I learned early that silence was easier than questions, she says. Dino listens without interrupting. What about you? She asks. He hesitates. Then speaks. I grew up in the same streets I control now. My father ran numbers for a crew that doesn't exist anymore. He taught me one thing. Power is the only currency that doesn't lose value. Do you believe that? Dino stares at the ocean. I used to. And now? He does not answer. But the silence says enough. On the 4th night, Rosalia wakes to the sound of breaking glass. She bolts upright, heart pounding. Dino is already moving. He crosses the room in 3 strides, gun in hand. Stay down. She crouches beside the bed. He moves to the window.
Peers out.
Then exhales. Cat. Knocked over a bottle on the porch. Rosalia's breath comes fast. Dino lowers the gun and turns to her. You're shaking. I thought. I know. He crosses the room and sits on the edge of the bed. Not close, but not distant either. This is what it's like, he says quietly. Every sound, every shadow. You'll carry this for a long time. Does it get easier?
No.
You just get better at living with it. Rosalia looks at him. Really looks. The lines around his eyes. The tension in his jaw. The way his hand still rests near his weapon even when he is sitting still. He is not calm. He is controlled. There is a difference. You're scared too, she says softly. Dino's eyes flick to hers. Every day. Then why do you do this? Because I don't know how to do anything else. The honesty breaks something open between them. Rosalia shifts closer. Not touching. Just closer. I don't want to be invisible anymore, she whispers. I know, but I don't know how to be anything else. Dino's voice is quiet. You're not invisible. Not to me. The words settle in the space between them like a confession. Rosalia's throat tightens. What am I then? Dino hesitates. Someone I didn't expect. Is that good or bad? He meets her gaze. I don't know yet. The air shifts. Not with tension. With something softer. More dangerous. Rosalia's hand moves without thinking. Just an inch. Her fingers brush his. Dino does not pull away. He does not move closer either. They sit like that, barely touching, barely breathing. And for the first time since the villa, Rosalia does not feel hunted. She feels seen. Not as a liability. Not as a mistake. As someone who matters. The next morning, Dino makes coffee. They sit at the small table by the window. The sea is gray under low clouds. We can't stay here much longer, he says. I know. Don Severio's network is wide. Eventually, someone will talk. Where do we go? Dino sets down his cup. There's a place. Across the border. Neutral territory. I have contacts there. And then we figure out what comes next. Rosalia stares at her coffee. What if there is no next? What if this is just running until we can't anymore? Dino's voice is steady. Then we run until we find something worth stopping for. She looks up. And if we don't, he holds her gaze. Then at least we're not running alone. The simplicity of it nearly breaks her. She nods. Dino stands and walks to the window. I need to tell you something. Rosalia's pulse quickens. What? Caring about you makes me weak. The words are blunt, almost cruel, but his voice is soft. Rosalia stands. I didn't ask you to care. I know. Then why do you? Dino turns to face her. Because you're the first person in 10 years who did something for me without wanting anything in return. I wanted to survive.
No.
You wanted me to survive. There's a difference. Rosalia's chest aches. I don't know how to do this. Neither do I. Then what are we doing? Dino steps closer. We're trying not to die. And somewhere along the way, we're becoming something I don't have a name for yet. Rosalia's breath catches. Is that allowed? In your world?
No.
Then why are you letting it happen? Dino's eyes search hers. Because I'm tired of living in a world where everything is a transaction. And you're the first thing I've felt in years that isn't. The vulnerability in his voice is devastating. Rosalia reaches out. This time, she does not hesitate. Her hand finds his. He holds it. Not tight. Not possessive. Just present. They stand like that in the small kitchen as the sea crashes outside. Two people who were never supposed to meet. Two lives that collided in violence and are now building something fragile in the space between fear and trust. Love does not announce itself. It grows quietly in the places where safety does not exist. And neither of them knows yet if that makes it stronger or more breakable. But they know one thing. They're no longer running from the same thing. They are running towards something neither of them can name, and that terrifies them both more than any enemy ever could. Fedra arrives on the 6th day. Alone. Dino gets the call at dawn. A blocked number. A familiar voice. I need to see you. He listens without speaking. Just me. No guards. No weapons. I'll come to you. Why would I allow that? Her voice cracks. Because I'm still your wife. Dino ends the call. Rosalia is standing in the doorway. She heard everything. You're not actually considering this. Dino stares at his phone. She wouldn't come alone unless she was desperate. Or unless it's a trap. It's always a trap. He meets her eyes. But I need to hear what she has to say. Rosalia's stomach tightens. Dino. I'll meet her in neutral ground.
Public.
Controlled. And if she's lying, his expression hardens. Then I'll know for certain. They choose a cafe near the harbor. Glass walls. Exit routes. Witnesses. Dino sits at a corner table, back to the wall. Rosalia sits 3 tables away, a newspaper open in front of her. She is not hiding. She is observing. Fedra arrives at noon. She wears a long coat, sunglasses. Her hair is pulled back. She looks smaller than Rosalia remembers. Fragile. But Rosalia knows better. Fragility can be a costume. Fedra sits across from Dino, removes her sunglasses. Her eyes are red. From tears or sleeplessness, Rosalia cannot tell. Thank you for seeing me, Fedra says quietly. Dino does not respond. She folds her hands on the table. I know what you think.
I know what it looked like.
But I need you to hear the truth. The truth. Dino's voice is flat. Fedra nods. I didn't know. I swear to you, I didn't know what my father was planning. You stood at that altar. You smiled. You said the words. Because I thought we were getting married. I thought. Her voice breaks. I thought you wanted this. I thought we were building something. Dino leans forward. Your father repositioned security. He timed the assassination around the vows. And you're telling me you knew nothing? Yes. You expect me to believe that? Fedra's hands tremble. I know how it looks. But I loved you, Dino. I still do. I would never. Stop. Dino's voice cuts through the air like glass. Don't insult me with that word. Fedra's eyes fill with tears. It's the truth.
No.
It's a script.
He stands.
This meeting is over.
Wait.
Please. Fedra reaches across the table. Dino pulls back. She stands desperate now. I came here to warn you. My father is planning something worse. He won't stop until you're dead. But if you come back, if you make peace with him. Make peace. Dino's laugh is cold. He tried to kill me at my own wedding. And you want me to negotiate? I want you to survive. By surrendering. By being smart. Dino's expression darkens. I was smart. I married into your family. I trusted your father. I believed the alliance was real. He steps closer. And that almost got me killed. Fedra's tears spill over. I didn't know. You have to believe me. I don't have to believe anything. Rosalia watches from her table. Fedra is good. The tears. The trembling hands. The desperation. It all looks real. But Rosalia knows what she heard. And she cannot stay silent.
She stands. Crosses the cafe.
Stops beside Dino. Fedra's eyes widen. You. Rosalia meets her gaze. Me. Fedra's expression shifts. The vulnerability vanishes. Something colder takes its place. You're the one who kissed him. Yes. Why? Because I heard what you said. The air freezes. Fedra's face goes pale. I don't know what you're talking about. Rosalia steps closer. The bridal suite. 40 minutes before the ceremony. You were with your father. Fedra's breathing quickens. You're lying. He asked if you understood what happens next. You said yes. He told you to step back when the officiant asks if you take Dino as your husband. You asked if it would be fast. If he would suffer. The words land like bullets. Fedra's mouth opens. Closes. No sound comes out. Dino's voice is deadly calm. Is that true? Fedra looks at him. She's twisting it. She doesn't understand.
Is it
True. Silence. Then Fedra's mask cracks. He killed my brother. Her voice is sharp now.
raw?
Marco died because of him. Because Dino wanted control. Because he couldn't share power. My father gave me a choice. Stand by and do nothing, or help end the man who destroyed our family. Dino's jaw clenches. So you chose. Yes. The admission hangs between them. Fedra's tears are gone now. Her hands are steady. I chose my family, just like you would have. I would never have stood at an altar and smiled while planning murder. Wouldn't you? The question cuts deep. Dino does not answer. Fedra's voice softens. We're the same, Dino. We do what we have to. We survive. That's all this ever was.
No.
Rosalia's voice is quiet but firm. Both of them turn to her. You're not the same, she says. He didn't lie to you. He didn't pretend. He offered you a real alliance. And you turned it into an execution. Fedra's eyes narrow. You don't know anything about our world. I know enough. You're nobody. A maid who got lucky. I'm the person who saved his life. Fedra's expression hardens. For now. The threat is unmistakable. Dino steps between them. This is done, Fedra. You made your choice. Now live with it. Fedra's voice drops. If you walk away, my father will hunt you forever. Let him. He'll kill everyone you care about. Dino's eyes flick to Rosalia. Then back to Fedra. Then he'd better be ready for a war. Fedra's laugh is bitter. You'd throw away an empire for a girl you barely know? Yes. The word is simple. Final. Fedra stares at him. You're a fool. Maybe. Dino turns to leave. Fedra's voice follows him. You'll regret this. He stops. Looks back. I already do. I regret ever believing you were different from your father.
He walks out.
Rosalia follows. Behind them, Fedra stands alone in the cafe, her carefully constructed innocence shattered. Outside, the wind carries salt and cold. Dino walks fast. Rosalia keeps pace. Are you okay? She asks.
No.
Do you believe her? That she loved you? Dino stops. Turns to face her. It doesn't matter what I believe. She chose. And now I have to live with what that choice cost me. Rosalia's voice is gentle. What did it cost you? Dino looks out at the harbor. The illusion that power could keep me safe. He meets her eyes. But it gave me something too. What? Clarity. He steps closer. I spent years building an empire. Negotiating. Controlling. Believing that if I was smart enough, ruthless enough, I could contain chaos. His voice drops. But you can't contain people. You can only choose which ones matter. Rosalia's breath catches. And you chose me. Yes. Why? Dino's hand finds hers. Because you told the truth when lying would have been safer. Because you acted when silence would have been easier. Because you see me as more than what I own. His grip tightens. And because for the first time in my life, I'd rather lose everything than lose you. The words break something open inside her. Rosalia steps forward. Their foreheads touch. Not a kiss. Just closeness. Just presence. What happens now? She whispers. Dino's voice is steady. Now we stop running. And we finish this. The confrontation happens on neutral ground. An abandoned warehouse on the city's edge. Industrial. Empty. The kind of place where violence leaves no witnesses. Dino arrives with 4 men. Loyal. Tested. Armed but not reckless. Don Severio brings twice that number. He is making a point. Rosalia waits in the car 2 blocks away. Dino wanted her far from this. She insisted on being close enough to matter. They compromised. She watches the clock on the dashboard. Every minute feels like an hour. Inside the warehouse, Dino and Don Severio face each other across empty space. No tables. No chairs. Just concrete and echoes. Don Severio speaks first. You should have stayed dead. Dino's voice is calm. You should have made sure I was. The old man smiles. It does not reach his eyes. Feder told me about your little meeting. She said you chose the girl over everything. I chose honesty over performance. Honesty is a luxury men like us cannot afford. Then maybe I'm done being a man like you. Don Severio's expression hardens. You think you can walk away from this? From me? From what you built? I don't think. I know. And the girl? You think she'll survive what comes next? Dino's jaw clenches. She already has. Don Severio laughs. Cold. Mirthless. Love makes you weak, Dino. I thought you understood that.
No.
Fear makes you weak. Love just makes you careful. The air shifts. Don Severio's hand moves toward his coat. Dino's men respond instantly. Weapons raised. But Dino raises his hand. Wait. Everyone freezes. Dino steps forward. I didn't come here to kill you. Don Severio's eyes narrow. Then why did you come? To tell you it's over. The alliance. The war. All of it. You don't get to decide when it's over.
Yes.
I do. Because I'm the one walking away. Silence. Don Severio stares at him. You're giving up your empire. I'm choosing something worth more. There is nothing worth more than power. Dino's voice is quiet. Final. You're wrong. He turns to leave. Don Severio's voice follows him. If you walk out that door, I will hunt her. I will find her. And I will make sure you watch her die. Dino stops. Does not turn. If you touch her, there won't be a place on this earth you can hide. Not from me. Not from what I'll become. The threat is not loud. But it is absolute. Don Severio hesitates. For the first time, he sees something in Dino he has never seen before. Not rage. Not ambition. Certainty. Dino walks out. His men follow. Behind them, Don Severio stands alone in the warehouse. He does not give the order to follow. Because he knows. The war is over. Not because anyone won, but because Dino Bianchi stopped fighting. 2 weeks later, the city fractures. Without Dino's leadership, the Bianchi operations collapse into chaos. Territory is divided. Alliances dissolve. Smaller crews fight for scraps. Don Severio consolidates power. But it costs him. Loyalty bought with fear burns fast. The city survives. But it is not the same. And neither is Dino. He finds a place in the mountains. Small. Quiet. Far from everything he used to control. Rosalia is with him. They do not talk about the warehouse. They do not talk about what was lost. They talk about what comes next. Mornings are simple. Coffee. Silence. The sound of wind through trees. Rosalia teaches herself to paint. She is not good yet. But she is learning. Dino reads. Books he never had time for. Stories about people who lived smaller lives and found them enough. They do not plan. They simply exist. 1 month in, Rosalia asks the question she has been holding. Do you miss it? They're sitting on the porch. The sun is setting. The sky is bruised purple and gold. Dino does not answer immediately. Sometimes. What part? The clarity. Knowing exactly what I was supposed to do. Who I was supposed to be. And now. He looks at her. Now I have to figure out who I am when no one's watching. Rosalia's hand finds his. You're the man who chose to leave. Is that enough? It's everything. Dino exhales slowly. I used to think power was the only thing that mattered. That if I controlled enough, built enough, I could protect myself from loss. And I was wrong. Power doesn't protect you from loss. It just delays it. Makes it worse when it comes. Rosalia's throat tightens. Are you talking about me? Dino turns to face her fully. I'm talking about the fact that the only thing I've ever built that mattered is this. Right here. With you. Tears sting her eyes. I'm terrified I'll lose you, he continues. Not to violence. Not to enemies.
But to time. To chance.
To all the things power can't control. So what do? Dino's voice is steady. We live. Fully. Without armor. Without strategy. We choose each other every single day until we can't anymore. Rosalia leans into him. I choose you. I know. They sit in silence as the sun disappears. 3 months later, Rosalia wakes to find Dino's side of the bed empty. Panic flashes through her. She finds him on the porch, staring at the mountains. You scared me, she says. I'm sorry. She sits beside him. What's wrong? Dino's voice is quiet. I got word. Don Severio is dead. Rosalia's breath catches.
How?
Internal coup. One of his own men. They said he got careless. Trusted the wrong person. Silence. Do you feel anything? Rosalia asks. Dino thinks. Relief. Not because he's dead. Because it's finally over. Is it? Yes. He turns to her. I spent years afraid that leaving would make me weak. That walking away meant losing. And now I know that staying would have cost me everything that matters. Rosalia's hand finds his cheek. What matters?
You. This.
Waking up without blood on my hands. His voice breaks slightly. I thought power would make me safe. But the only time I've ever felt safe is here. With you. Away from everything I used to think I needed. Rosalia kisses him. Not desperately. Not urgently. Just present. When she pulls back, her eyes are wet. I love you. Dino's voice is raw. I love you too. It is the first time either of them has said it. And it changes nothing. And it changes everything. Years later, people will ask what happened to Dino Bianchi. Some will say he was killed. Others will say he fled. A few will insist he is still out there, watching, waiting. But the truth is simpler. He left. Not in fear. Not in defeat. In choice. He walked away from an empire that demanded everything and gave nothing back. He walked toward a woman who saw him as more than what he owned. And in doing so, he learned the only lesson power could never teach. That survival is not the same as living. That control is not the same as peace. That love does not make you weak. It makes you human. And being human, he discovered, was the bravest thing he had ever done. Dino Bianchi learned that power could keep a man alive. But only love could teach him when to leave. And he left. Not because he had to, but because he finally understood what he was leaving for. A life measured not in territory or fear, but in mornings with the woman who saved him. In quiet. In presence. In the kind of peace that only comes when you stop fighting and start choosing. And that, in the end, was the only victory that ever mattered. Before you go, I'd really like to hear your take. Was the kiss an act of courage, or the beginning of something that was never meant to survive? Rate the story from 1 to 10, tell me where you're watching from, and comment which moment stayed with you the longest. I read every comment, because stories don't end when the screen goes dark.